Hello guys, welcome to another podcast.
Hello,
This is Denai
this is Steph.
and this is the Everyday Grind Unfiltered.
Back again.
We're back again. We're doing this again. What do we have today? What are we going to talk about today?
I thought it would be good to have a bit of a chat about your journey with
Bodybuilding. Yes.
I know, there's obviously a few different parts to bodybuilding. So I just thought maybe we could start with the first part of how you got into bodybuilding, what you were doing before, what made you want to switch. Because as we all know, bodybuilding's quite hard, drastic. So, what kind of made you want to do that? And then how's your journey been?
I think it's a good idea because as we were saying, you're baby building, I'm bodybuilding, and you guys will probably have seen already the previous episode that it's on the baby building.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, if you guys like it, please like, subscribe, comment below. This will really help us spot our channel. And then we can continue making these videos and these podcasts. So, easy. So, where should I start?
I reckon start with, what were you doing before?
Yeah.
Before you got into bodybuilding,
Yeah.
what were you doing?
Yeah. Look, I started, so we mentioned last week that, or the previous episodes, that I was always into sports and athletic, and I liked being active. I liked the exercise, the energy that exercise gives me, afterwards. And I was playing volleyball for years and years and years back in Greece. So when we came to Australia, volleyball here unfortunately is not as popular, at least in Melbourne. That's the thing. So I didn't even look into getting into any club and training or even competing again and going into volleyball games. I needed a break. It had been, 15 years or something.
Wow,
very
long
competitive.
time.
Long time, competitive and demanding. So I didn't know how it is here, and I didn't even look for it. Obviously COVID happened in between. Nothing was open.
Which took a very long time.
Yeah, it was 2-3 years. If you guys don't know, here in Australia, especially in Melbourne, we were really locked down.
7, 8?
Yeah.
Was it 7 or 8?
Curfew.
No, for lockdowns.
Oh,
I
I
think we
don't know.
hit
I
7.
feel like it was it reached, obviously with breaks, but it reached almost 3 years, in between, opening for 2 weeks, then close down again, then for 1 week, then close down. So
I think we're all scarred from that.
I feel like my brain is blocking that memory.
Yeah.
So I don't remember those years. And that time was when a friend of mine introduced me into a local gym that was more functional training. And I liked that small community type of training. It had everything. It was a hybrid, not even functional. It was hybrid. So we had some days that was more cardio, functional. We had some days that it was just weights. We had core. We had everything. So that was another way of me moving my body and getting back into that sort of exercise. And as soon as I found that community and I was so happy, they shut down and we also moved away from that gym. So I was devastated. So I started looking for something similar, and I found a gym here near my area that had that, again, same type of training.
Yeah.
Great community, great trainer, great people in there. So it was really good at that time. So after the exercise, I also wanted to get back into some sort of healthy nutrition and not only lose weight, but feel better in general. So because my body had gone through so much after the move here. Yeah. So that's how I met my current bodybuilding coach, who initially we started a journey of weight loss. And the more I was meeting with him and talking to him and talking to people from the gym, and I loved weights. I loved lifting weights. Not in the sense of powerlifting, like doing 1 rep max, but I loved, building weight, building my body and my muscles. So that's when they suggested to me, well, why don't you look into bodybuilding?
Okay.
Yeah, so fun fact, initially bodybuilding was more, for me, in my mind, bodybuilding were just these massive people, women or men, that, they just walk around like this, massive muscles and all that. And I didn't feel that that's very feminine, at least for me.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't know about bodybuilding, is that there are different categories.
Yeah.
I mean, even me, I worked in the fitness industry, but I wasn't involved in the bodybuilding sector. And even back then, I just thought, bikini, all of those ones.
Yeah.
Until you actually research a bit more, and there's so many different categories.
There's so many categories. There's so many things you need to look at. And that was my reaction to my then trainer at that gym when he said, why don't you do bodybuilding? And I was like, well, I don't want to be, just jacked.
Bulky.
I want to be jacked, but I don't want to be like bulky and not feminine. And he's like, well, you're wrong. Like, there's so many categories. Just look at that category and just go for it. So basically, the category that I looked at is for lower body volume rather than upper body. So you don't really expand your back and your lats.
So they don't judge you for that?
No. You have to have some sort of definition. So when I cut down, obviously the muscles will show more, and you have to have some sort of definition, but they just want to see the imbalance. So they want to see bigger lower body than upper body.
Okay.
So,
and what is that category called?
It's called wellness category. So they want to see, it started from Brazil, obviously, because, they've got the legs, they've got the bum, they've got everything. And so it started from there. And then because it was becoming very popular, they put it into the official bodybuilding shows, and then they put it into the Olympia, which is the ultimate, worldwide show that it's happening every year. So it's that, and they dominate. So the winners, or the first 5 spots, usually the Brazilians.
Yeah.
So that's when he said to me about wellness, I went back to my now bodybuilding coach, but then just dieting with him. I went back to him and I said, well, I want to do bodybuilding. And like, really kudos on him that he didn't say, oh, you bodybuilding, why? And he was nothing like that. He was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's, put in a plan, what you need to do.
Go for it.
Whereas there were other people who tried bodybuilding, and they straight away tried to tell me, I mean, out of kindness, but they were saying to me, oh, you won't be able to do it. It's so hard. It's so difficult. It needs so much discipline. And it does. It is hard. It is difficult. It needs discipline.
So much discipline.
But if you want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. Exactly. Yeah. Like if you want to do it and you put your mind to it, you'll do it. Yeah. So we started with my coach, my bodybuilding coach, and we went through a phase of body recomposition, which is basically just changing what fat and muscle ratio you've got, where you've got it, grow some areas, not grow as much other areas, and a lot of food focus, like the diet the first year. So I mean, almost 2 years now.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yes.
What's the time frame? So you've been on the pre-start journey?
Like the pre-start journey has been like pretty much all the years, like gym and weights and everything. Just bodybuilding, basically, it's a little bit over than a year and a half, basically. A year and a half between 2 years, 1 year and a half and 2 years.
Yeah.
So it took some time to lose the body fat that I had and just go back into some more muscle gains that I needed. So that was the first 6 to 8 months, they were really hard.
Yeah.
Because you just reprogram your whole mindset and 100%. Your brain.
You have to think differently.
You have to think differently. You have to be macros focused, but at the same time, have a healthy lifestyle, not being obsessed and not going to the other side that, oh my God, I ate a burger today, I had a cheat meal, and oh my God, I had a cheat meal, and that's hard. And I went through a lot of phases during that time. I went through phases that I was just really guilty for eating out.
Which is completely normal.
It was really hard. And that's why you need to get a good coach. Yeah. My coach was guiding me through the whole time. You need a really good coach to support you in that, and a support system around you.
I was going to say, not just your coach, but your friends and family and I feel like but again, that goes with everything, not just bodybuilding,
Yeah.
but obviously for this particular episode with bodybuilding, make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
Because it's hard as is.
Exactly.
So you don't need that added,
And look, if you are clear at what you want to do and you communicate that to the people around you, the people who love you and care about you, they'll understand.
100%.
So I was going to events or gatherings with friends, and I was bringing my little Tupperware, especially the first 8 months. These were the hardest months, but also the most structured months. I had the discipline had to be 1000%. So these months were difficult. I was going to friends' place, and they're like, "Why did you bring this?" But it's not in a bad habit, but they're saying, you know, aren't you going to have what you're going to do? So you just explain to them, and people get used to it.
100%.
They get used to it. Now they'll see me, my little Tupperware.
Now it gets to the point where I've said to you, I'm like, oh, we're going away.
Yeah.
There's going to be food, but otherwise,
bring yours.
Bring your own food.
Exactly. So people get used to that because you bring a consistency, you bring a commitment, and they'll respect that.
It's almost weird now when you come with food.
Exactly. So
it's weird seeing her rock up and you're like, where's your bag? And you're like, I'm going to eat what everyone else is eating. And you're like, what? Are you feeling okay?
I think
it's weird now.
It has become this.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Everyone's like, oh, you're eating today?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm eating. I'm not starving, but
eating
eating normal food.
It's so weird.
But in saying that, I don't eat just chicken and broccoli. I don't eat broccoli. Let's start with that. Chicken, rice, and broccoli. I'm a big foodie. I like my food. And if I don't have the foods that I want in there, I will cheat.
Yeah.
So, and I will snack, and, you know, if I want my potatoes, I want my pasta, I want my pizza as well.
Yeah.
I love pizza. So we made it work with my coach with a lot of communication. And again, that's where you need to be honest with your coach.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, when I was failing the diet, I gave him all the information, why I was failing, when it was failing, what were the foods that I'm craving, and what makes me crave it. Because a lot of the times it's lack of sleep, or, you know, I skipped a meal, or, you know, things like that. So it is a lifestyle. It's a whole lifestyle. It's a life. It's not the thing with the sport. Like, I've been into sports. You just go try and follow this. But with bodybuilding, it's not just the gym. It's the mindset, it's the lifestyle, it's prioritizing yourself sometimes. I know it sounds really selfish, but it is a selfish sport, to be honest.
I think,
you know, you're alone up there.
It's very much, as you said, it's everything, but the mental side of it is like number one, because that is what either is going to make you fail.
Yeah.
I don't like using that word. Not fail.
Not fail.
I don't like using that word, but, you know, not reach your goals.
I like that better too. Yeah.
Or reach them. But again, that's everything in life.
Yeah.
But no, you are doing
a
great job though.
Thank you. It gave me a really, really good discipline and a whole perspective in life. So I started, when I eat something else that I haven't eaten for so long, I'm like, oh, like, you actually sit down and enjoy it. You don't just rush to eat. You enjoy food more.
Yeah.
And you go through phases. Like, you go through phases that you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, I'm small, I don't like it, you know. That's with everyone. But even, like, where is my definition? Where is that?
Yeah.
You just need to, you learn a lot about yourself, about your body. Like, we did a big trial cut last year, so that we decide a year in. So we decide if I'm able to do a show. Nothing like a prep show.
Yeah.
But it was still hard. It was really low calories for that time, and the output that I had was great. It was massive for the calories that I was having. So you get that feeling miserable, and that's why you need to, you know, lock in and just do it. And I think that gave me skills to use in my other aspects of life, whether that's business or personal life or relationships. For me, it's the 2 C's: consistency and commitment. Now, that's all I say to everyone. That. Yeah, I say that to everyone.
We'll write that down. Yeah, I like that.
With mentorship, with you know, anyone that asks me for consistency and commitment, it will get you wherever you want to go. Yeah. So with bodybuilding, my life, every day, I have a list of things that I need to tick off. At the beginning, you just weigh everything because you don't know how to do it. Later on, like, I know now, a spoonful of that is that portion, and my stomach is also telling me if I've eaten enough or not. And my stomach is also telling me, oh, it's time for your next
Time to
meal. You're getting hungry now. Energy drops because you eat consistently in between the meals. If you spend like 4 hours between a meal, depending what you do, I do 6 meals per day. Not massive meals. Don't think of it like a massive breakfast. They're all pretty much equal.
Portioned out, yeah.
And if I get like 4 hours in between 2 meals, you'll see I'll be like,
Yeah.
I have no energy because it's that consistent. And we're hoping to do a show this year.
Yes, which would be very, very exciting.
It is exciting. It is scary.
You'll be amazing.
We'll see.
You will.
Yeah. It's the good thing is it's up to me.
Correct.
It's not up to anyone else. It's literally up to me. If I go and follow, because I've got the instructions, I've got the advice, I've got the coach to tell me what to do. And now I can say that I've got a little bit of knowledge as well. Until I do a show, I don't want to say that I've got knowledge, but we'll see. And that's also, and it's I'll go into that in a little bit, in the expensive side of it. But yeah, we're thinking of a show. So now I'm growing, trying to put on weight, but not just random weight. Hopefully muscles, like lean muscle tissue, and hopefully I can start cutting down in March or April for a show end of July.
Yeah.
So that will be difficult. You guys will see me shrinking probably.
And I was going to say, we'll do another episode on that part, because then obviously it's very different, like, to talk about, because we don't know how you're going to be feeling. We don't know,
I don't know
what your food's going to be. We don't know what your training's going to be. You know, it's going to be very different to what you're doing now, getting ready for it. So, and I think, like we said at the start, like bodybuilding, there's so many different phases. So that's why I kind of thought we'd start today with what you've been doing for the past couple of years up until this point. And then, you know, for part 2,
we'll talk about
the
it
next journey.
Oh my God.
And then we'll do
that's going to be exciting.
the after, how you feel and if you're going to do it again.
Well, exactly.
So,
and that's the other reason I currently don't feel massive. I don't feel as big as I want it to be. Side note, I'm natural. I'm doing this completely natural show, so I'm not taking any enhancement, so performance enhancement. So everything is, yes, I take supplements. I take my vitamins, and I've got my energy teas and stuff, but nothing in there is it's like a steroid or something like that. So, and that's hard, because my cut season will be different than a person that takes an enhancement, or even my growth season is very different. I cannot just grow. So you just rely on your nutrition. So eat well, eat enough, more than enough. Like feeling like I want to vomit pretty much in your growing phase, and training really hard. Like train hard. You cannot compromise. You cannot say, "Oh, I'm not going to train today. I'm going to go tomorrow." Well, that's a discipline.
Correct.
That's a discipline.
Exactly.
You don't need motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Initially, when I started, I was like, "Oh, I'm motivated. I'm pumped." It's good.
Disciplined.
Good to have, but motivation in one day, it's not going to be there. What will keep you going and pushing is the discipline.
100%.
So your brain will say that, "Oh, I don't want to do it, but I will do it." That's it. Like it's non-negotiable.
Yeah. And that's for anything. Weight loss, bodybuilding, whatever fitness journey you're on, that's exactly right. The motivation part is going to change day to day, hour by hour. Right now, we're sitting here, you know, let's go to the gym. In 5 minutes' time, it could be completely different. That's what it is. But like you said, I think if you have that discipline, though, and that's your mindset. Yeah.
And that's why I got in love with bodybuilding, because it gave me discipline. I learned a lot about myself, and I can implement that to other parts of my life. Yeah. So, of course, bodybuilding might not be for everyone.
No.
I think for up to one point, this whole healthy lifestyle, it can be for everyone, but depending what your goals are. There are people that are building the body without actually being a competitor. So they're never going on a show. They don't want to do that. And I might, after the show, I might say, you know, I had my go. I'll continue building my body, but I don't want to go up on stage again.
You may want to improve and go, let's do it again.
Yes, exactly. And before we finish, I just want to go briefly on the part of how expensive is that sport. And people were telling me, and they're right, it is expensive. So from your food, that has to be, you know, the better quality, like the super lean beef mince that is more expensive than the 3-star, or the spotlight potatoes instead of the normal potatoes. The chicken is not expensive, that's fine. Like chicken breast is fine. But then other things, like other high in protein stuff that you might need to incorporate. Definitely. Supplements.
Whole other story.
A whole nother story. We were talking about supplements today. I'm glad people are changing to, yes, supplements are not bad.
No.
Supplements are here to supplement your already good diet. They're not here to replace a good diet with just supplements. They're here to work together. But they are expensive. So I've got all the heaps of my
especially
vitamins.
If you want the good.
Yes, exactly.
Brands.
Like what you pay, what you get.
Yeah.
So,
and in saying that, everyone has a different budget, obviously. We're not saying,
100%.
To do the cheaper ones, you're not going to get anything from it. But like you said, it's just you pay for what you get. So that's just something to keep in mind.
You will not, I wouldn't buy, even to someone who needs like a low budget option, I wouldn't go to the supermarket and just buy protein powder. Unless it's like, I don't know, like most of the good brands, they're not in the supermarket for a reason. And taking into account that how many times do you do takeaway, how many weekends are you drinking and all that, how much money is all that? What if you take a portion of that money, I'm not saying stay at home, do nothing. Take a portion of that money and invest it in yourself, whether that is going to a gym, getting like activewear as well, that, will will make you happier to go to the gym. Boost your confidence, and take good supplements. Like take some of the money that you spend to random things that you don't really need and put it into, invest those in yourself. So that's also expensive. So supplements are expensive, and paying a coach. I'm not saying that my coach is expensive, but quite the opposite.
But that adds.
That's another expense that you wouldn't normally have.
Yeah.
And then all the gear that you need, and when I say gear, I mean the equipment, the belts, the straps for the hands, the shoes, the memberships, the extra therapist that I'm doing. The amount of money I've spent to my myotherapist, she's rich because of me recently. Like honestly, so all of that to look after your body.
Yeah.
And then now that the show is coming, I've got a posing coach.
Yeah.
That's different. It's a whole posing routine.
Yeah.
And then with the show, I need to buy heels. I need to buy the specific
outfit.
bikini.
Yeah.
That's super expensive.
Makeup,
tan,
spray tan,
lashes, hair, everything, like nails, everything. So it's an expensive sport, and I'm really glad and I feel really blessed that I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
Because I happen to be in a good situation of maybe not being in Greece as well. I know a lot of people struggle in Greece, and I was the same when I was there. And I'm blessed of having the opportunity to do it, having met good people to guide me what to do. And then also, I've tried pretty much everything until I decided what I want and what I like. So it is an expensive sport. You need to have really good support there as well from your family or your household if you're not single, in order to financially be, like, we're putting a lot of money into it, even as an amateur at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's that. And I don't have the enhancement, like the pads. That's
correct.
Another level. Yeah, that's another level of expenses. But it's exciting.
It is.
It's something different.
And it will be here before you know it.
Yes, I know. Well, it's already been, 24 weeks now. We've got a countdown. So that's happening. And I'm glad I'm doing it before the baby arrives.
Yeah, I know. 2 weeks before, and I'll be out here at your show. That's all right.
I'll be like skinny, like
and I'll
be tired, skinny, like
exactly.
I don't like
and
this.
I'm the complete opposite.
And you'll be like, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm eating well. But you are making me the cupcakes, right?
Yes, whatever you want. I'll make you anything.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. That was really insightful to, like I said, learn a bit more about your journey so far. But like I said, for the viewers as well, we'll come back once you've, kind of started / even halfway into the next stage. Give us an update.
Interesting to see.
We'll follow your journey.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
If I do it.
Exactly. Who knows?
And write down below, guys, if you have any questions for us. And you can even reach out individually if you think that my story relates to any of you, or Steph's story relates to any of you, and if you've got questions, sorry about that, we can answer questions as in like advice on what we are doing.
Yeah. And if you need any, especially the nutrition side, with Denai as well, if you want any nutritional, advice, put a comment
just put
below.
a comment, reach out to us, see how you, if you like it, like our video, please, and subscribe. And we will be posting more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this is Denai.
This is Steph. Bye.